Hello everybody, it's Bronwyn here. Today I wanted to have a look at the new mass market release of the Prairie Majesty Oracle by Kara Simons, and the art is by Putney Koenig. So I bought this originally off of Etsy, the indie version, and it's a really beautiful special deck. So when I saw that Hay House had picked this up in mass market and released it, I thought I'd grab it and have a look and see what the differences are. So right off the hop, the price is going to be a huge difference. I live in Canada. I think I paid roughly, like with shipping, about $90 Canadian for the indie deck, which is not cheap. And then for the Hay House mass market version, I picked it up off Amazon and it was less than $30 Canadian shipped. So the boxes look pretty similar. We have a slight coloration difference, slight design difference, but nothing major. There is a slight difference on the finish. I don't know if you can see, but the mass market, which will always be on the left, it's just matte. And the indie deck will always be on the left. And the mass market is this one. It's got that sort of like, it's matte, but it's got the gloss spot finish, I believe that's called, and a slight texture to it. It's really pretty. So these are the tops, the backs, sorry. Author's name is on the indie version, or on the mass market version here on the bottom. And there, of course, you've got the Hay House logo on this one. So there's more of like the name on the sides versus the indie version, which is just artwork. All right, so let's open them up and take a look. So the indie deck, and these are the insides of the tops. The two guidebooks, I'll just put these aside for a second. And then we've got the cards, which I did put in order, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I must have put the colors, here we go. So here are the bottoms of the boxes. So honestly, very similar. You've just got really, on the indie version, it says explore your sovereign nature in the bottom. Pretty much just some color shifts. The artwork is the same. And the boxes are identical as far as like the construction. It's just a two-piece cardboard, sturdy cardboard box with thumb hole cutouts. So far, pretty much identical. Okay, let's have a look at the guidebooks first, just quickly. I've already flipped through, slight color difference again on the fronts. This one's just a little bit more of like a greenish blue than the mass market. Now the big difference here is the indie one is all color. And you've got your 4 categories of cards that the deck comes with. They have like the edges are marked in the color, corresponding color to the cards. The mass market, we don't have that, but otherwise it's the exact same guidebook. It's just not in color. Nice paper. So yeah, very, very similar. Now the mass market does have an extra 4 cards for each of the categories of the deck. There is 1 extra card. Now for the actual cards. So going through, I honestly do not see any color difference. So I'm not going to do a full-on flip through. I'm just going to do, because there are others out there. And I've done my own flip through of this deck, which is in my videos. So on the indie, we have this rose gold gilding, which is really pretty, and a really nice matte cardstock but it glides really well. I'm trying to think what else I have that's in the same sort of cardstock. It's like the Sakurai Bido Tarot or the Super Lunaris Tarot. Just that really nice, satisfying tactile experience that you get with the indie version. And for the mass market, I have edged mine in black already. It is the new Hay House cardstock. And I was really hoping it would be that nice, thicker cardstock that Hay House sometimes still uses on its decks, like the Ancestors and Oracles, Angels and Ancestors deck by Carl Gray, or the Sacred Destiny, this one here. I just brought this for a size comparison, but it's that really nice matte, thicker, sturdier feeling. This honestly just feels more like paper to me. So I'm a little disappointed about that, but overall for the price, I can't really complain. So the cards are exactly the same size. It's just the edges are a little more rounded. Oh, and the backs are identical on both versions of the deck. So cardstock is the new papery Hay House stock. And I mean, it shuffles okay. It overhand shuffles really well. The only thing is, and this is nothing against the artist, because I think this deck is fantastic. I think it is gorgeous. I think, especially now that it's available mass market, and it's way more reasonably priced, I think it's a fantastic deal for 26 Canadian or whatever it's going for on Amazon. The only thing is, and I wish Hay House had done her better on this, honestly, the edges of this deck, maybe it's just mine, but they're rough, like, if you know what I mean. Like, they don't have a smooth finish. And I compared it to other Hay House decks I have in this cardstock, and they're smooth. It almost feels like sandpaper. I have shuffled this quite a bit over the last couple days just to see if I could sort of soften up the edges, maybe smooth them out, but it's quite rough. And I figured since it's so rough, it'd take ink really well. So I went ahead and edged it in black because, you know, being a black back and black borders on the front, any chips on the sides really showed up. So I went ahead and edged it. And unfortunately, the ink didn't set very well. And I've gone and cleaned them all off. But, you know, with a tissue paper, most of the ink's off now, but it did take a couple of rounds. So I'm just going to do a really quick comparison. The size between the indie and the mass market are, again, pretty much the same. The indie is a tiny bit slimmer and the edges are more, it's hard to compare because they're black. The edges are a little less rounded on the indie version. So I've probably not got these in the right order. I tried. See, we're off. Jump. I don't see much difference in color. This one, the mass market, might be a little bit more saturated, but nothing noticeable. Again, I'll just go through a few of these just to compare. And I do not think that the independent version is still available on Etsy. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it's sold out. So yeah, overall, I think that the new mass market version is an excellent rendition or edition of the original. You're truly getting the same exact content. So here's one of the new cards, Crack. Yeah, you're getting exactly the same information, the same artwork, ultimately the same color. It's just the cardstock and the color in the guidebook that's different. And that is not a deal breaker for me when you consider the price difference. So I will be putting my indie version, probably giving it a little rest so I don't wreck all the gilding on it, and using this mass market one more regularly, because then I don't have to worry about, you know, losing it, getting it wet, whatever happens when I throw things in my bag. So I'll give it a quick shuffle. It shuffles just fine. It's just those edges are a bit rough. And again, it might just be mine. It might just be my copy that's rough. So I guess we will just have to wait and see how that all turns out. Anyway, so I hope this was useful to somebody, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.